Right, it's that time that we cross over live to Kisumu County, where Willice Oching, also known as Willice the Word Master, is standing by for tonight's lesson. Willice, great to see you again.
Great to see you again, Betty, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Willice. Now, I heard that last week Edith was close to replacing me.
Edith Kimani surprised me. She came in as a first-timer in Mind Your Language, and in my take, she is a super sub.
Oh, wow, I agree. All right, let's start with a word that gives very many people problems, especially journalists. Do we say jeopardy or jeopardy?
Betty, we don't have what we call a diphthong in that word. We don't have the vowel glide EO. That O is silent. So we say jeopardy, jeopardy, not jeopardy. Just like we say jeopardize, not jeopardize. And we also have leopard, not leopard. And another name in this world that many people call Leonard is not that way. We pronounce that name as Leonard. O is silent.
Right.
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy it is. Okay, now when someone shows strong or, angry feelings, like, do we say he refused vehemently or vehemently? I've had quite a number of varied pronunciations.
I usually get amused a bit when I hear of that. Vehemently. That is pronouncing a word while following the spelling or the letter sequences. The correct pronunciation for that word, Betty, is vehemently. Vehemently, not vehemently. Just like we say vehicle, not vehicle. We also say annihilate. Annihilate, not annihilate. And we also say rehabilitate. Rehabilitate. In other words, H is not puffed or pronounced in those words.
All right. I bet that one has been mispronounced by so many people so many times. Okay, let's move on to our next word. When it comes to flowers, we have the roses, we have lilies, and then we also have this type of flowers. Is it orchid or orchid?
Well, Betty, that word is not pronounced as orchid. We say orchid for the flower. Of course, we have the word orchard, but we don't say orchid. It's orchid. Just like we say orchestra, orchestrate, but we don't say orchid. It's orchid.
So, Willice, we don't say orchestra?
We say orchestra. Orchestra. That letter E goes through what we call vowel transmutation and takes the short vowel sound E. Orchestra. But saying orchestra in ordinary communication is not a big issue.
All right. So it's orchid, orchestra. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next one. What is the correct pronunciation of a mosquito-borne disease, especially in the tropics? Is it dengue fever, dengue fever, dengue fever, dengue fever? You hear a lot of this, especially when we are conducting interviews.
It's been confusing many people. When we are talking about the breakbone fever, we say dengue, dengue, not dengue, not dengue, and all that. We say dengue fever. English has certain words which are called look and say words. You just pronounce them without following the spelling very closely. So, dengue fever.
Dengue fever. Noted. Do we say evaluation or evaluation? Evaluate or evaluate?
Evaluate, evaluation, evaluate, not A. We have letter E taking the vowel sound E. Evaluate. We also have evacuate, and we also have evangelist. Evangelist, not evangelist.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to a certain word. Is it maisonette or maisonette?
Maisonette. Maisonette. We don't say mansonette, mansionette. So many versions locally, but the correct pronunciation for that word, Betty, is maisonette. Just like we say cigarette, cigarette. And
Not
we also
cigarette?
have cassette. Not cigarettes, the way we locally
Cigarette.
say it. It's cigarette, cigarette,
Okay.
maisonette.
Maisonette.
So, very, very tricky.
Wow, maisonette cigarette. Okay. Do you have a surprise word for us tonight, Willice?
When it comes to surprise word tonight, Betty, I have something which I know many people will be shocked about.
Yeah, give it to
When
us.
we're talking about diplomats as a group working in a specific country or a specific city, those diplomats are not called the diplomatic corps. When we talk of diplomatic corps, we are talking about diplomatic dead bodies or dead body corps. So, I knew it would be funny. We say diplomatic corps, diplomatic corps. So, corps is C-O-R-P-S-E, but corps is C-O-R-P-S. Diplomatic corps, not corps.
So the PS are, those letters are silent?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't pronounce them. It's just corps, not corps.
Diplomatic corps. That's a surprise. Let's move on to our feedback. Alan Tom from Milimani in Kisii County, I hear he's a big fan of this program, wants to know, do we say architect or architect?
We say architect, architect, not architect.
Okay.
Architecture,
Architect.
archipelago, archive. So we don't say architect, it's architect. But Betty, when we are talking about the combining form arch, we should be aware, as those who use English in serious communication, that we say archbishop, not archbishop. That is when it is used as a combining form. Archbishop, archdiocese, arch-rival, not arch. But the other words, we just say architect, architecture, archipelago, archive.
All right.
There you are.
Finally, Willice, finally. Bishop Kyogora Magambo wants to know, do we say masquerade or masquerade? Where is the stress?
We say masquerade, masquerade. We don't say masquerade the way many people say the word, because letter U is not pronounced in that word. Masquerade, not masquerade. Just like we say mosquito, mosquito, not mosquito. Letter U is not pronounced, Betty, and there it is.
All right, mosquito. Great, Willice. Always a pleasure having you to tell us all these pronunciations. Looking forward to seeing you next Friday, God willing.
I always say after 6 or 7 days, and you are back with a bang.
Back with a bang it is. Willice, the word master, coming to us live from Kisumu County now. He is finally on Twitter, and his Twitter handle is at Willice Ocheng1. At Willice Ocheng1. So if you have any questions, you can direct them to his Twitter page, and I'm sure he's going to be very, very welcoming and interested in, of course, giving you the correct pronunciations. That has been Mind Your Language, only here on Friday Briefing.